Good morning, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mr. Craven. All right, guys, looks like I'm back on PC. We got the thermal paste on. Everything's looking pretty good. So I hope I don't crash. Let's hope. That's the best scenario, you know. So we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. If it crashes, I might be, like I said, doing myself a little fundraiser to replace some hardware, but let's hope. Alright. Let's go see what the dailies are. Once again, I'm just trying to level up. I'm trying to play catch up on this dude. Runes. Elden Hollow 2. Oh no, yeah, 2. Ballenfeld. Alright. As always, I'm just going to go to the Dungeon Fighter. I'm going to go random. I'm going to go vet. A lot of people on this morning. It's actually quite busy. I don't want to use these as trash pots. I don't know if I have any in the bank. We'll find out. Probably could craft some while I'm waiting for Q. Juggling 2 platforms is not easy, guys. Got the Loken Tears. That's a restore. And there's another one that does the... Alright, I got that in the wrong order. There we go. I think about... Yeah. I'm not gonna get both. Let's see... I get Major Prophecy anyways. Go figure. Damn it. It's okay. It's fine. We'll get through it. Jesus, if it loads. Got 2 for 1er though. What the hell? Fucking lag. I'm not usually using this one ability. I'm trying to level it up. Morning, Mustang. Morning, Todd. Back on the PC, I'm pretty happy about it. Morning, Rock. Back on PC, baby. Well, let's hope, anyways. Got my thermal paste. Lagging a little bit, but... Morning, Useless. I'm trying to play catch up on this platform. So bad. Nope, my bad. Did we get them all? Yep. Nice. Nice, nice, and nice. So I got some trial players here. I'm checking these really quick. I never know if I can find a motif. I'm still collecting motifs down here. Still collecting motifs. Sucks. There's so many too. There's so many motifs. Looks like Mageblade Day. It does look like that. There will always be more motifs. I know! Since I've been playing 2 platforms, I can't even catch up on the ones on my main platform. It's like, in Master Rights, I haven't even started Master Rights on this platform yet. I mean, I'm next to my last traits, and it's just, you know, so time consuming. The lag is retarded. Sure. I was out of the fucking circle. Come on. Yeah, it is. I don't know how much they did on maintenance. So it seems a little laggy. A shitload of people are on. I mean, a shitload, it seems like. More than what I'm typically accustomed to when I'm in town this early morning. It's like crazy. Once again, I just want to... And there we go. Ooh, nice! Light infused, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And 2 champion points. It's good when you get shit out of the way. Sometimes there's a chest in this room. I never leave until I go in here. Sometimes there's chests around here, some shit, but it doesn't look like it today. That looks fucking good. I'm hoping to get back on PTS also this week. Couple more things I want to do. I was PvPing this weekend. Make me break out my main, those guys did. But once again, I want to respect them all. You know, it really, you know... Elusive, Shady, he's really good. Unreal, you know, Dub, Swaby, all those guys, Ness, all of them, man, are just really, really good. Rusty Accordion, I know, so good. And that's the funny thing, like, I give it up. Like, a lot of people want to, like, try to bash some on PvP. I only PvP about 2 days a week, mainly weekends, prime times, which is the most horrible time to do it. But you get a lot more action. I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm the best. There's a lot of players out there that are better than me, but I'm a good PvPer. I consider myself pretty good, and I keep up. Depends on which tune I'm on. Stam, I kind of suffer a little bit more. I do have a new build for PvP I'm coming out with. We got to test for the Nightblade, me and Uology. I want to thank Uology, by the way, for all of his help this weekend, testing it, getting it out there. But all the top PvPers know me. They all know me. And I'm their like main target. Anytime there's something going down, the first thing they look for is me. And if they gang on me, you know, it is what it is. If I got more than 2 or 3 players on me. Now, if I'm in a group, right? Not like I don't group up with a lot of players. Very specific players will I only group up with. But if I'm in a Zerg, I'm usually in front of the Zerg. And depending on what tune I'm on, if I'm on my DK or my Sork, it's going to be bad for the opposing faction if I got you know, healers behind me. It's just the way it is. Because that's what I do on those tunes. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to lead, you know, pushes. That's what they're built for. But I really like it. I love PvP in Cyrodiil. No other game's been giving that type of feeling as far as Siege Engine goes. Battlegrounds, I'm kind of still like, oh, there's a couple more things they could be doing. So... But I'm going to finish up a couple of potions here. I'm really low on cornflower. I need to go harvest. And I will never put you guys through that stupid shit of harvesting. But, yeah, we got a couple more weeks and that DLC is going to drop. It's really going to look good, guys. A lot of, like, really cool changes. I think that's all positive. I don't really see a lot of negative. And then they said there's going to be an announcement for one more announcement. I don't know what it is. So there's always someone to learn from. When you think you have nothing to learn from anyone else, you have not learned anything yet. Exactly. I feel like that's the case in everything in life. That's why I don't have pride. Because, like, if you're prideful, man, it will fucking kill you. Pride will be your downfall. Don't, like, the best thing to do is don't you know, it's okay. You don't have to be prideful. And being wrong is a learning process. I don't think I'm ever going to use the Dune Ripper set. You know, given the fact, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like you're right, Rock. There's always someone to learn from. And that's how I view it too, dude. Every day, all day. I'm so happy about that. That is so badass. That's a badass headpiece. I don't really use a lot of health. I'm just trying to clear up some more bag space here. And then turn in. Trying to knock him out. Trying to knock him out. But yeah, another thing, guys, like, remember, we got 2 weeks of the Halloween Festival coming up. I will be on PC, working on a couple of tunes. I got one more tune on PS I want to finish up. But for those 2 weeks, I will be primarily focused on PC for leveling purposes. And then I'll be on the PlayStation still on the weekends. I won't be PvPing much during that time. Because I really want to go ahead and take advantage of what's going on here. But I should be. Nah, I won't. Trying to level this ability. Then I can switch back to my normal shit. Two more keys in the bank. Okay, we're going to switch tunes real quick. Because once again, I mean, keys are cool, but most of the time what I'm trying to get out of this, oh, I gotta do that real quick too, is trying to get the dailies in. The nerf of Nightblade CC skill, terror to affect only 2 targets, is a shame. Yeah, no, it is. It really is. It sucks. Me and Uology was talking about that this weekend. Why not make Burning Talons only affect 2 targets too then? Right. Well, I think you can break from anything in Cyrodiil. I agree with you. I mean, I kind of like, okay, you can break a fear. And I'm like, I get it. Like, there's no defense. I think the reason being because even when you're stuck in Burning Talons, you can still use your abilities. When you're feared, you can't. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. I'm thinking to myself. That could be the issue. After all fear, only work on 3 targets. Yeah. You know, and it's kind of funny because, you know, a couple players were doing the test between, you know, I won't say names, the monster sets and the master weapon stuff, and it's like I said, it's a close margin, so you can go either way. And here, once again, people were kind of going by what I'm initially saying, but you know, and I think the devs are just doing so much better. It's like, okay, you can go this way with your build, you could go with that way with your build, and it's still it's still, the devs are getting really close about how to marginalize the difference, and the only difference of it is how you play your rotation in your build per se, and it's looking good. It's looking really good. IIRC burning works on 4 or 5 targets, right? And it has a larger target effect. Rock, you're right. And the fear only does work on 3. But I think just the fact of it is, and I don't know if like they're contributing everything to a radius issue. I don't know, man. To me, it seems like, okay, well, what's the big deal, man? I mean, but then there's things that they won't even touch on. I'm gonna drop this because I didn't get to finish that. And I think there's certain things that they need to really take more pay attention to than friggin' terror. I don't get feared as much as I do with the other CCs. Hell, the other day ago, we couldn't fucking kill a friggin' sorcerer because he fucking had 2 shield stack rotation. Couldn't kill him. I'm like, this is the problem in this bitch. This game. Shit like this. This is all the real problems. The fucking CCs. You guys want to say CCs? I understand CCs are a problem in Battlegrounds. Can root 4 or 5, but Nightblade now effectively has no CC. Well, they would tell you you'd still have cripple. That's what they would say. They would say, "Oh, but you still have cripple." Sure. I forgot to train his mount. I always train my mounts to my dailies. Or did I train his mount? I don't think I did. No. So DKs can root. Yeah, it's just I think that's an issue. I really do. It's my opinion, but once again, ZOS is going to do what they want to do, and at the end of the day, I can live with it. I mean, I can live with it no matter what. Oh, cool! This is badass when I can get the daily in my random. Love this shit. Oh, love it. Sork tanks, man. I got to play with Useless last week. By the way, thank you, Useless. I appreciate that, dude. He was on his Sork tank. He did really good, man. That build was tight. Exactly. How often you get feared in PvP these days? You don't. You have to be within a close vicinity. Only time you're going to get feared is when the Nightblade does the ambush. And the only time he throws the fear is if there's more than one target. More than one person near his initial target. It's the only time. Come on. Players dumping Nightblades in PvP, and it's almost all Templar, Sorks, and DKs. Yeah. I think what I like to see is a mechanic, like me and my friend was saying, there should be a mechanic that allows you to break free at the cost of a bar spot. Like, but it has a cooldown effect, or, you know, it can only be applied during set effect. Then you could have morphs like, you know, increase your damage against, you know, target player after you break free. Always feels weird going, "Hey Mystic, how's it going?" "Oh, hey, thanks David, pretty good, man. I'm back on PC. I'm happy about it." Set this in the back. Templar using shards and orbs. What a shame. Shit. Yeah, heavy armor. Heavy armor is no joke. I use a lot of heavy armor on builds. My DK I don't. But I feel like I don't know why the Templars got that going down. Why? seeing that sub account is raising. Good job, well deserved. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I actually want to thank every one of you guys. You guys make this possible for me, man. You guys really, you know, you guys are my inspiration. Ever trying to fight heavy armor, shield, tank, no, right? No, I was just saying that. You know, Rock, I was saying once they implement CP and Battlegrounds, I will take the Templar tank in there. Okay, throwing the Warhorn again. Once again, just exchange. Maybe we could run around Cyrodiil and throw mud balls at. That's balance. There's balance, right? I don't think you can ever truly have balance in class-based MMOs. And I'm not asking it to be. I think that actually out of all the MMOs I played, this game has more balance between the abilities and the effects than others. Not saying there isn't balance issues. I try not to go around the balance topic because the devs got a lot on their plate, and they really do. And I think ZeniMax does better than most, and I'm happy with what ZeniMax does. But Amulet and Hardened Ward shouldn't stack. But then so shouldn't Igneous and Bone Shield. Right. Actually, I think that makes sense because a lot of times, and here's the thing, I do stack shields as a tank on my DK. And even a lot of things. If they have a similar effect, maybe that is the issue. But in tanking, a lot of times in certain scenarios, you don't need a double stack. The only time double stacking actually does anything, it's a peace of mind. That's all it does. And maybe you're right. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe double stacking shields is the issue. It does one shield should cancel out another. That's not a bad idea. You know, that could actually change up a lot of things. But as far as damage, like Sork's crying about their CC potentially getting taken away, I don't see a problem with it. We hit it both at the same time. I'm trying. Gonna grab these ads up. CP and BGs, what the heck is Zoss thinking? Templar, yeah. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I am going to put the Templar tank in Battlegrounds when CP launches, and I will let the stench hit the fucking air. I'll do it. I will. I will fucking do it. You don't give players like me that capability. You do not. You don't. I will make fucking noobs hate the fucking game. And I don't want to be like that. Hold on, guys. There we go. They won't touch shields. They nerf heals. I like how it rhymes. That's pretty badass. I feel like there's certain you can't take away shielding's ability, and I think Useless makes a good point. If you nerf what a shield can do, it'll ineffectively affect the other builds and classes that are trying not to do that, but you know. But I honestly think one of the rectifications you can do is just like limit the shield stacking by literally canceling out another shield's effect. Like on my DK, for example, a lot of times I use shield rotations, but I don't ever cast them at the same time. Like I'll use my ward, but I'll throw my my Igneous shield between that rotation. And I think something like that could actually be more beneficial than the shield stacking per se. Once they nerf the heals, what happens in PvE? One guess. Right, and you can't. You're basically, when you nerf things too much. But here's the thing, like we had this argument, discussion. Everything gets cut in half in Cyrodiil anyways, right? You can't really do too much to the healers as is, except maybe Warden. Somebody was bitching about like the radius of the heal. I'm like, well, once again, that affects PvE. A tank shield PvP is fine for taking hits and staying alive for a while, but it's hard to hit them with them. Actually, I think for tanks in Cyrodiil, they need to cap off the resistance, because there's a lot of block tanks and stuff, and there's ways to cut through blocking, a lot of ways. And a lot of the known tanks know when I'm around, because I will cut through their shit. But one of the major things that you have to do is literally try to reduce that resistance, because your pen, it's reducing the damage, man. And tanks have already a high enough resistance. So we got, you know, everything else reduced. Why not reduce put a cap on fucking resistance in Cyrodiil? Hey Ryan, hi, do you have a Templar tank build? I have one currently on my site. It's the Redistributing Leech. I haven't done any hardcore trials with him. That's the only tank like I haven't gotten to do a lot of things with. But yeah, I have one build. I love him. I love that build. Love it. And I will be bringing out my PvP shit. I already posted what I'm going to be doing for PvP with all that shit. Okay. Shield and heal, shield and heal, shield and heal. They nerfed healing for Warden Ultimate, which is okay, but I don't see why do they not separate skill for PvE and PvP. A little bit more for the morphs. I think one of the things we were talking about is coming up with a new branch morph system, like and allowing more and sets. We were like, me and Uology was saying, why don't they come out with sets that promote Cyrodiil group play and then separate Battleground PvP set bonuses, and then make something like give a, instead of a Minor Slayer, you know, like for example, one of the prime examples is reduce effects from said class, like reduce your damage taken from stealth players by 8% or 6%. I mean, how many players would jump on that just for survivability purposes? Something like that. But instead they have like one set that has that channeled for the Templars, but and then make sets like Eben and friggin' Warlock more pliable for PvP, like make sets specifically for PvP with increased radius that, you know, increase your healing while in Cyrodiil by X amount. This way you wouldn't have to nerf, you know, one aspect of the game to ineffectively, you know, change some of the things in the other parts of the game. I love your builds. I have a Warden Healer. Oh, thanks, Ryan. I love giving it to you guys, man. I like playing this game. It's a lot. Out of every game I've played, I have way more control of my character development. That's why I can't seem to leave it. But I will be doing, like... I will be doing a revisiting series on a couple of MMOs. Nice, 2-for-1ers. Divine. It's a good set. I don't use it much. So all that happens is transparent to players. All they see is different. All they see is different numbers in BGs and Cyrodiil and PvE. As from Rock, Ryan, Warden Healer is so much fun. I love. Yeah. That's what David said. I love the Warden Healer. A lot of people, like, if we remember, once again, I won't say names, but certain players was saying how the Warden Healer was subpar to the Templar. I disagree. I love a Warden Healer. I love all my healer. I love everything that the devs initially do in this game a lot. It's one of the things that I really enjoy what ZeniMax brings. And I don't question the devs as much because this is why, and we all have to take it, understand their position. They have a lot on their plate. They separate department, but then they have to correspond with each other to try to get on the same level. The problem of it is in development isn't so much what the dev wants to do. What he wants to do might ineffectively change something in another department. So they have to correlate together to come up with, you know, yes, we can do this. Well, wait a minute, let's see something, and then they'll internalize it, spin it off before they'll put it on, decide if they're going to put it on test. If they implement it, then they can say, okay, well, it's working out like this from what we're seeing with the testers. Now we'll change up a few things. Don't know if you tested it yet, but Warden running Twilight and Spec is a beast at keeping up minor maim. No, I haven't tried that yet. That's interesting. Stupid autocorrect. SPC. So, okay. So, if running Twilight and SPC is best at keeping up the minor maim. Really? I imagine we were talking about that, Useless, and we were because of the also what the Warden offers in synergy. So that's what you're referring to. So the synergy is going ahead and throw. Now, you got to test that out with the shrooms then, right? Useless, what I was telling you. Because here's the problem with Warden. A lot of people were like, well, it keeps the minor toughness keeps applying. dropping off the uptime for Spell Power Cure. And I'm like, well, it's working as intended. The problem of it is the HOTS was what resets it. And Warden has a lot of HOTS on top of if you're going to use orbs, which you're most likely going to have to, always. So you have to use your burst heal to keep up your uptime with your Spell Power Cure throughout your rotation. What do you think of the Blazing Shield Templar tanks? No, that's what I use, Ryan. I use the shields, Blazing Shield. I love it. It's badass. Especially for PvP, Blazing Shield. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. And, yeah, I do stack it. I'll stack it with Bone Shield. Why? Because I can. Zoss is going to let me do it. Why ain't I going to? Oh, of course I'm going to. Why wouldn't I? You know? Maybe that is the answer to the solution. You can't stack shields. One shield will ineffectively drop off the other shield. There you have it. There you have it. And I think they need to put hard diminishing returns in Cyrodiil. Honestly, that's my opinion. One tooltip for PvE and a separate tooltip for PvP. That way you can adjust skills effectively separately. So PvP has no absolute effect on PvE and vice versa. No, that's a great idea, Rock. That is actually a great idea. It's actually a good idea. Another thing that we don't see, we see tooltip changes for shields when you go in Cyrodiil, but a lot of your sets bonuses don't reflect what's going on in Cyrodiil. So you have to cut usually those values in half still, and the tooltips aren't reflected. And I don't think it's a bug. I just don't think they've gotten a chance to get around to do it, because you do see it in the shields, you do see it in healing effects, and whatever, but you don't, well, any effect, that certain effects will apply it. But when you take a look at set bonuses, like any damaging proc, they don't, the value isn't adjusted to reflect what's going actually on in Cyrodiil. And we were discussing that as well. But I think they really do need to separate PvE and PvP gear. They need to make gear that appeals to group play. So players want to group up in Cyrodiil. And I think they are trying that with siege engines and stuff. But they need to do it for organized play. More than like, oh, I increase my mount speed while in Cyrodiil. Who gives a shit? I'm trying to build a Blazing Shield Templar. I don't have a build set up for that yet, but it does work. There's I would suggest maybe kind of Googling it and looking at other players. I forget his name, but there is one Templar tank who has a Blazing Shield build, and the funny thing about it is he wrecks with it. Because it plays like the old, I don't know if you played World of Warcraft in the past, Ryan, but it kind of reminds me of the Wrecking Ball. The old Wrecking Ball builds for Paladins back in the day. Oh my god, pain in the ass. But unless you actually are up in his face, in which he's trying to get you there, it's ineffective. But once he gets everybody up in it, it's just very powerful. Add that with the Spike Bone Shield. Blazing Shield and Spike Bone Shield, and then run up all your friggin' absorbs and shit. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Blocking alone is prominent, but jeez, Mateezus, add absorbs and shields. Tanks won't die. I won't even fuck with tanks in PvP. I'll be honest. If I see Unreal, if I just see Unreal, I'm like, fuck you. I am not fucking with you today a lot of times. But if I see 20 or 30 people on him and not getting anywhere, it's like, you know what? Fuck this, man. I've got to debuff this dude. So I will poison him. I will debuff him. I will try to bring him down enough where the DPS starts cutting through. Because you can't leave players like that unchecked. He's good. Like health changes in Cyrodiil, except for class skills. The tooltip changes when you enter Cyrodiil, PvE, BGs. Separate data for those skills based on what you're doing, PvE or PvP. Right, exactly. That's exactly what should be going on. We should be seeing those reflections. So when we open the tooltips, we see what's going on in Cyrodiil with those sets, with those skills. You know, that's what should be happening. But we don't. And a lot of times, a lot of players are misled. Like one two players criticized my Stamsork build because they saw the tooltip and they thought, oh my god, you know, that's not a lot of damage. But the way he's set up for penetration, high-end penetration. So because people stack penetration in Cyrodiil, right? And I could have a tooltip that says I deal 20 something K, but if I have next to nothing for penetration, those values could be almost cut in half, you know, from what that's what I potentially could be doing, but I have no pen. So all of a sudden, what am I actually dealing for the maximum amount of my damage output? You know, and the tooltip doesn't reflect the penetration. One of my biggest problems in this game is when I come into the character sheet, and a lot of people have been asking me what I'm going to put on my Christmas wish list. We were talking about that this weekend. ZOS hit 4 out of 5, four of my things on my Christmas wish list last year, which I was so happy about. I was like, oh my god, that is so awesome. And one of the things on my Christmas wish list, I think last year, and I think I want to do it again this year. I want in the stat sheet penetrating value. Like my spell resistance there, my physical resistance is there, right? 25-25. When I throw on my, one second. When I throw this on, those values are increased, right? So why don't I get penetrating values on my character sheet? Why? I need that. I want to see physical penetration, spell penetration. It's important. It's a stat that we don't see that's relative to how much damage we push. How much penetration do we have? How much penetration do we need? Well, we need between 11 and 12 determining, right? That is a determining a baseline that we have to have, knowing that major fracture, major breach is going to be applied, minor fracture, minor breach could be applied. We could be looking at debuffs that are reducing that target's resistance. So why don't I have it on here? Why don't I see a reflection of penetrating value? Why? I need it. It's a number that I have to know in the back of my head, but why can't players actually have it in front of them? Most players don't understand that that's a reflective stat, and we don't see it in our character sheet. So, in my opinion, ZOS needs to check that out. And a lot of people always kind of get a little weird because they're like, oh, how'd you get those mods on Xbox and stuff? I'm using a controller. If you guys see when I do this, I have the actual other shit for the PC. So... Harvin's extended stat add-on. Yes, we need it. We need it. Or Raven's. Yeah, it should actually be considered that. Raven's extended stat add-on. Or is that an actual an add-on you can get? If I can get that, I'll probably get it. But I want it on my PS4. My Blazing Shield Templar tank is going to be my first PvP. It's my first time playing PvP. Oh, okay, Ryan. Well, if it is your first time, you're not going to go wrong. You won't be killing a lot of things, but at the same time, when you're in groups, they'll love you for it. You will love that build. You will love it, Ryan, if it's your first PvP experience, and you'll be effective. You will be. You will be very effective, Ryan. Because that is a build you players do take serious. When they see a Templar tank, any Templar tank to begin with, they're like, oh shit. You add the abilities like Blazing Shield, Spike Bone Shield, stack it up, let them get on top of you. It's bombs waiting to happen for the melee players on top of you. And then you throw in like stun effects like Blazing Spear, throw up your absorbs and shit. Reflects and stuff. Yeah, it's not a joke, man. Templar tank, don't fuck with them. Go Magicka base. Don't go stamina base. Keep enough stamina just for your blocks, right? In your cast, some of your cast, and use Repentance corpses and stuff like to regain your stamina. But honestly, dude, here's the biggest deal about it. Literally, when you Yamastein, Harvin's extended stat does exactly what you want for spell and weapon pen. Though I agree that they should include it in the base game so the console players can see the pen as well. Right. I'm actually going to get that. I'm going to get that add-on now. But yeah, I agree. It should be on our character sheet, man. Like the devs should put it in there. Little things like that is always on my Christmas list. Like my wish list last year was for icons. You know, because as a healer, I couldn't see when my buffs dropped off, right? And then they added it, and now it's like, oh my god, thank you. So there was one. More themes for PlayStation and Xbox for Elder Scrolls. We didn't have a lot of themes, but with Morrowind, I got 2 new themes, one for pre-order and one for launch, which was really cool. Thank you, Zoss, but I think they could come out with a little bit more. They already have the art. All they have to do is put the icon things on there and pop it out, and they'll sell it. People will pay $5 for those things. You'd be surprised, ZeniMax. You can make a lot of money doing that. ESOUI.com. I use Minion. Will give you penetrating values and tons more. Sweet. Thank you, Rock. I appreciate that. Thank you, Yamstein and Rock. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. By the way, Yamstein, thank you so much last week for my test with my DK healer and the blood fountain and stuff. Thank you so much for that. You guys were really great. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I love my community members. You guys are the greatest. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I'm back on PC. I'm really happy about it. I will be taking a look at a couple things on PTS this week. I'll also be trying to, once again, to hit out this CP. It's a process. I'm almost at 527. But, you know, I don't play as much. You know, I'm playing 2 different platforms. Devs can add all the Harvin's ads. After all, where do you think Harvin's got the info? Right. Well, they had the base code, right. Once of the any add-on, they have access to the engine's code. They can, you know, apply it, use the tools to develop the add-on, and then just plug it in, right? So they're not changing anything internally with the code. They're just using the code to create the add-on. It's all based on C++. I mean, but they need some of that initial code to sequence in with the what the game provides. I don't have the exact terminology. All good. Saw the video. Happy you got it tested. Hope they rework Blood Altar slightly, but who knows? More important things that they can change before. Right, and I agree 100% there, Yamestein. I completely agree. I feel like in the future down the road, maybe they can work on it, but right, you nailed it. There's more things, there's more important things that need to take precedence, and it's not an ability that has to be changed right away. So I agree completely. And I think ZeniMax, once again, I love the devs in this game. I love what ZeniMax brings. As far as theme park, it has its theme park's elements, but this game isn't linear, and that's why I love it, because I have control of my build. I have control of my stats. I have control of what class and what build I'm going for, and that's why I continue to play this game. And ZeniMax gives me that capability, and the devs do such a great job. And once again, when it comes to like balance, the game's not perfect, but it's better than a lot of MMOs at this time. And trust me, a lot of MMOs have balance issues, real bad balance issues. When I'm finished my Templar tank, we can do it. If you're on PS4 or on PC, sure. PC, I don't have a lot of major PvP builds going on except healing. But yeah, Ryan, I'm definitely, if you're on PS4 or if you're on PC, I will definitely duel you, man, just so you can try it out. You know, I'm not a big dueler, per se. I do duel for people testing stuff. So when me and my dudes test things, like, I'll ask them like when I'm on the PS4, what are you testing? What tune do you want me to get on? Are you trying to negate Magicka damage? Are you trying to, you know, be more defensive? Are you trying to be more offensive? How do you want to work counterplay? So that's what we do when we test on duels. Take care, Rock. What if the Undaunted skill line got in Ultimate? No, you mentioned that, Useless, and I think that's a good idea. You know, I think, oh, another thing that's going to be on my wish list this year. So we were talking about this. Me, Uology, and Duck bringing out new weapon skill lines. So we would look at pole arm and spears. Right now, bow is our only ranged tree for stamina DPS. Spears would allow another type of ranged skill line. Pole arms. A pole arm, if you don't know what a pole arm is, it's like a halberd or a Bushido or something. That would be really badass if we could have those two skill lines. Oh, you're on PS4? Okay, Ryan. And also wands. So a lot of times, a lot of casters use swords, unless they're running a Destro Resto or Destro Destro. I think wands could implement new skills and allow a player to use a one-handed item and still use a sword or a shield or something with their wands. You know what I'm saying? And that would be a really cool skill line too. So I think 3 new skill lines in that way would give the game a lot more dynamic as far as options, and allow the developers to implement that in a way that gives players like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to go bow. I want to go spears. Or I can pair bow with spears now, because spears will give me the offset difference of more single target versus more AoEs. For what bow has. Bow doesn't have a lot of single target damage. Spear does. So I could go with AoE rotation with the bow, single target rotation with spears. That would give, and still have a lot of range capability at, you know, this offset. Or I could go with you know, a spears and halberd, giving myself range capability, but then you'd have, like, you know, a lot of pairing effects and things like that going down with like a pole arm. Dual wield wands would be the shit. Wand and board. Right, exactly. So by putting a wand, you're essentially adding more abilities to the game. So like I said, I like the idea of pole arms and spears for Stam and wands for Magicka users. I think if you add those 3 skill lines, it would be huge. It would be massive in this game. It would change so many dynamics. So many different ways to combo up. Because as it is, each class plays really good, but sometimes we see the same thing within each class build because of the way we're used to playing. You know, like if we're all going to be two-hander, we're all going to see the executioner, right? We're all going to see certain things. And I think we need to kind of expand that. And I'm hoping the devs kind of take some of that into consideration. So that'll be on my Christmas wish list this year too. But and I'll do an official video on my Christmas wish list. So we'll see. It's a wish list. It's called wish list for a reason. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going. I got to take my daughter to work, so I gotta do some things. But if anybody has any questions or comments, please post below. Once again, I want to thank you guys. You guys are the greatest. Real quick here, tanks in Cyrodiil are tactic. I've seen groups of 20 players trying to kill one tank. These players could be doing something useful, like sieging a keep. Ignore the tanks. Problem solved. That's what I do, Todd. I ignore them. I think someone has already determined a one-hand rune skill line. Ooh, that's a nice one. Like a rune. Right. That's awesome. I like that. Not everyone has to die to win a war. Nope. Building a PvP build is hard. I'm working on a DK tank with shields, and I take a lot of damage, but I have to play in a group because my damage output sucks. Actually, yeah, that's kind of the way tanks are. You're not going to deal damage, but you'll reduce it. It's designed for group play for hardcore tanks. Fix the game as it is before you add new stuff. I agree, Rock. I agree. I do agree, but sometimes it just gets boring, you know. It's just like, you know, like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna go two-handed. I guess I'm gonna go do this, you know. Later, Ryan, you take care of him. So, but I do agree, you have to fix things. But, you know, once again, when they come out with new DLCs, now this is with DLCs and stuff, Rock, is what I'm saying, because they have to put a new little bait in there. They have to put carrots. So even if I agree, they have to fix stuff. But if you don't add carrots, people won't be interested. So with upcoming DLCs, if you have a new skill line attached to the DLC, like we saw in Dark Brotherhood, or that, you know, we don't really use much, but it was fun, or Thieves Guild, all of a sudden players want it. Why? Because it unlocks stuff. And that's what people want to do. That's the little carrots. And I think those type of carrots would be really good for upcoming DLCs for next year, is adding new skill lines. It'd be really cool. You don't always have to add new dungeons. Like, they're always pushing out champion points in dungeons. Sometimes it's not about that content. Sometimes the content within it, you know, within the effect of, oh, I got there's new skill lines out. I need to play it. I need to try it out. That's what, you know, draws people back into the game. So, yeah. So, anyways, guys, I got to get going. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, post below. I want to thank everybody for watching. And once again and always, have a nice day.